So in this video, we're going to set up a job longer than the table on our JWEI JCUT Cutter. So to do this, we need to go into OptiScout. And then we need to bring in a job that is bigger than the table. So all I'm going to do now is just get rid of the job that's already in there. I'm going to go to my shape tool, my universal placing tool. I'm going to right click and I'm going to make a rectangle that is 5 meters long. So you can now see I've got a really long job on there, so I need to get out of my placing tool and then I'm just going to place my job on the table like that. So you can see the job is going to stick out at the end of the table just as we'd expect, just like that. So once we've got that set up, all we need to do is just set up our layer like normal. Now I'm just going to use the pointer tool, which just uses the laser pointer here, and it will very slowly go around the job, but it just means I don't actually have to have a job on the table to run the demonstration. So all I've done to choose that is I've made sure I'm in not defined, click where it says pointer there, and I'm just going to select that. Now in terms of the settings for the pointer, it's just one speed setting there. Then if I go output to device, you'll see I'm in roll at the moment, but you don't actually have to be in roll. It will still segment the job, and you can see at the bottom here it says job will be segmented. Now if you have multiple copies of this, you want to do one 5 meter section, then you want to bring on the material to do another 5 meter section, then yes, you would have to be in roll. If you're just doing one job, which is 5 meters long, you can be in standard or roll. So I'm going to go into standard, like that. Now I don't need to change any settings in this section here. The only thing that I sometimes do change is my table length. Now at the moment, that table length is the exact size, the exact length of my table from there to there. So when you're trying to place a job on the table, sometimes you may have an issue because basically it wants to cut the job to the exact size of the table. If I make this slightly smaller in here, so let's say 2,400, that means that it just gives the table about 100 mil to play with at the top or the bottom of the job. Once I'm happy with my settings in there, as I said, it says job will be segmented. I'm going to press output. Then this window will come up automatically. Now this is the segmentation section of our software. So we've got a few different optimization sort of presets in there. And you can see if I flick between those from final optimization to plate optimization, you'll see how it's going to change the way that it segments the job for you. You can also change an overlap on certain ones if you wanted to change your settings. Now a lot of the times I will go for a smart feed setting. So let's have a look at how that goes. There's no real right or wrong way in that setting though. So I'm going to press OK. Now you'll see it comes up with this, and this is just going to show us what the job is looking like. So you can see all the different segmentations. There you go, there's first, second and third table. And I'm going to press output at the top, which is then going to output my job. And it's going to output it obviously from my temporary origin, which is on the table already. So you can see that it's doing the first section my job. It's going very slowly because it's using the pointer. This is more of a calibration tool or a testing tool rather than a production. So it's cut across the bottom and it's going to continue up the table. Once it's done that, the fence is going to come down automatically and it's going to pull the job forward. It's then going to go and continue that cut line. There we go. Now it's going to bring the next table on. And it's going to finish that small bit of cut. You can hear the vacuum zones changing as well there. And that's completed. So that's how to cut a job longer than table without registration marks. Now it's the same system for a job longer than table with registration marks. All you have to make sure of is that you have plenty of registration marks on your job. So I would always recommend about every 300 to 350 mil down the long length and also across the shorter length as well. And that means that every time it brings something onto the table, especially like that small bit that they just did there, you always know that you're going to have registration marks on that job. It segments it the exact same and it sends it off the exact same. So that's how we do a job longer than the table on our JWEI JCUT cutter.